sprint review is the penultimate event in every sprint. It has a time box for a 1-month sprint of 4 hours, but as with the other events of sprint planning and sprint retrospective, where the sprint length is not 1 calendar month, the event time boxes are typically shortened. For example, if your sprint is 1 calendar month and the sprint review is 4 hours long, during a 2-week sprint, the sprint review will typically be 2 hours long. It's scaled down. It is an opportunity for the whole Scrum team and the key stakeholders to inspect the done increment, i.e. the outcome of the sprint, and determine any future adaptations that are needed to add value. The inputs to a sprint review are the done increment, current business conditions, the progress made towards the product goal, and any learning that has taken place during the sprint. The outputs, on the other hand, are an updated product backlog that takes into account the feedback offered by the stakeholders and improved transparency about what is valuable to those stakeholders. Importantly, during a sprint review, the increment is shown to the stakeholders as a prompt to exercise empiricism, but the sprint review is not solely a demonstration. It is a working meeting where the Scrum team and stakeholders collaborate to decide what to do next. The reason why the sprint review is not solely a demonstration is because it risks then becoming a presentation, a unidirectional flow of information from the Scrum team to stakeholders. An effective sprint review is where there is collaboration between both sides. It is also encouraged, although not mandatory, for the product owner to present an update towards the product goal. It's sadly a very common occurrence within many teams where stakeholders are not frequently present at the sprint review event. This is catastrophic to empiricism. If no feedback is being offered by the users of the product, how do you know, as the developers and the Scrum team, that what you are producing in the form of the increment is of any value? The simple answer is you do not. Until you have user validation in the form of a sprint review, or releasing your product to market where the users can interact with it, any value you believe you have produced is purely hypothetical. Until your increment and product is validated, you have a higher and higher amount of locked up capital, which is at risk of not being valuable to your users. The sprint review is also a perfect opportunity for any Scrum team to raise any impediments that they have encountered that are outside of their ability to rectify. As the organisation form part of the stakeholders of a product, it is encouraged they are invited to the sprint review to ensure that these impediments that are slowing down progress are addressed as soon as possible. The takeaway from this video is that if we consider the whole empirical feedback loop that Scrum is founded upon, if the sprint plan is the opportunity to create a forecast of value, the daily Scrum is the opportunity to ensure we remain on track to deliver that forecast, then the sprint review is an opportunity to validate. If sprint reviews aren't facilitated effectively, the feedback loop is not closed. Unless you provide stakeholders with the opportunity to transparently, against the definition of done, inspect your increment and offer feedback, the benefits of utilising empiricism are lessened. Without taking the opportunity to inspect, adaptation is pointless. Purposefully, the sprint review is designed to provoke change and create opportunities for improvement.